Before Batman and Robin, the most famous dynamic duo was Smith and Wesson. When the two master gunsmiths met in the 1850s, Daniel Wesson saw the older Horace Smith as a potential mentor and father figure, and convinced him to collaborate on his crazy idea of combining bullets, powder, and percussion caps into convenient metal cartridges. Smith was sold on the idea because it was no crazier than his inventions, which include explosive bullets designed to hunt whales. Now, Sam Colt held the patent on the idea of a revolver, so they created a lever-action alternative called the volcanic pistol, which later evolved into the Winchester repeating rifle. When Colt's revolver patent expired in 1857, Smith & Wesson were ready and released the Smith & Wesson Model 1 revolver, firing their newly invented .22 rimfire cartridge. While the .22 short was more effective against squirrels than against people, the Model 1 proved explosively popular in the run-up to the Civil War and made Smith & Wesson a major player on the world stage. They acquired the exclusive rights to the patent for a bored-through cylinder, allowing them to take Colt's place with a monopoly on cartridge revolvers for the next decade, eventually leading to their most successful revolver, the Model 10. You have seen the signs around you. The gradual creeping, decay, and dysfunction. You have realized that something is wrong with the media. You know that you are different. This is why you are ready to become a receiver. You have been issued a series of audio cassette tapes that are part of our system for advancing insight. When listening to these tapes, you will drown out and eventually counteract the negative influences from your environment. Once you have absorbed these tapes, you will have taken the first step towards awakening your true self. The media is a threat. We have a technique to help. We use tapes as part of this technique. You must listen to them to advance. The mind kill degrades the condition of firearms, making them much more likely to malfunction. You can clear most malfunction by tapping the magazine to make sure it's seated, racking the slide to chamber a new round, and then bang, you're ready to go. Tap, rack, bang. The vast majority of shootings take place in low light conditions, so if you have a gun, you should also have a light. Now first, you needed to identify your target to be sure that there's an imminent deadly threat. Second, you can use it as a weapon in its own right. A proper self-defense flashlight is bright enough to temporarily blind a human attacker, which can go far in convincing them to surrender or leave. This will not work on a kill drone. The flashlight is a great tool that has many uses, but it is only as good as the operator wielding it. When using a flashlight in hostile environments, make sure you use it appropriately. And remember, using it lights you up like a Christmas tree and will help your enemy as much as you if you're not careful. So with this in mind, use your flashlight sparingly. Turn it on briefly, scan your surroundings, turn it off and move, so your enemy can't zone in on your location. Make this a habit, and your flashlight will save you time and again when you find yourself in a tight spot. Cooper's third rule of gun safety is to keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on the target. There are many physiological reactions that can cause your hand to tighten involuntarily. If your finger is on the trigger and you're surprised or stumble or tighten the other hand, the gun will fire and make a hole in whatever it's pointed at. This is especially important when drawing or holstering. Like takeoffs and landings in aircraft, this is when most accidents occur. If your attention wanders for a second and you try to holster your gun without removing your finger from the trigger, you will shoot yourself in the leg. If you are trying to draw quickly, you can easily grab the trigger and shoot in the leg. It's common knowledge that some needs are a higher priority than others. Note that in order to pursue some, others must be fulfilled first. They frame the complex situation using simple, unrealistic examples, like how you can't be happy if you don't have air to breathe. These simplifications are used to hide more complex truths, that the body sustains the mind, and the mind sustains the body. The most present needs are in the domain of the mind. Without baseline function of thought, you can find yourself without the will to move or eat. Strengthening the mind by developing focus and resilience is the goal of a technique we call mind tech.